that you want strong financial discipline. We hear some rhetoric and we hear some platitudes about how things are going great. I haven't found a business owner that's excited about these massive increases in taxes. Anyway, like we're talking 80%, 100%, we are putting people out of business. How is that a business-friendly environment? We have a disconnect between what we're hearing and the facts. In terms of strong and vibrant communities, we need to continue our due diligence. We need to help our police force do the work they need to do, and we need to tie in all of the services within our communities. I think it's critical. And you know, what we've seen over the last little bit is a continual callousness of the city of Calgary towards its citizens. We saw this with the water bills. We saw what happened with public art. We see what's going on with Midfield Trailer Park. And it is awful. And you know what? There's a quote from Remember the Titans that says, attitude reflects leadership. So let's think about what our leadership is going forward. Thank you.
Yeah, if you look back 7 years, I don't remember Calgary being this divided. And at some point, you're going to have to say that the leadership has a part to play in that. In sports, I'll use that analogy, where the coach will get fired if there are so many problems within that team. And our team right now, the Calgary team, is facing so many problems right now, so much division, so much, so many problems. And we have to start looking at leadership. And I know a lot of you mentioned supporters. You vote too emotionally. I'm sorry, but it's true. Just because he maybe took a selfie once or whatever else, you have to start looking at the facts. What is actually going on in the city? There is so much going on in the city. We need new leadership. And I'm not going to ask you to vote for me. I'm going to ask you to look at the facts. I'm going to ask you to look at the numbers and at what's actually going on. Not just because he read a book to your child once. He's on record on a video admitting to being the part of getting sexual offenders and violent criminals in through the background check through Uber. That is a serious issue that he's putting citizens at risk. That is not something I made up. That is a video. You're saying no, but that is a video that he's caught on tape saying. So for me, look at the platforms, look at the facts, and take the emotion out of the decision and vote logically. Vote for the future, because right now we're heading in a very scary situation, very scary future. And we need to make decisions that's for the greater whole, not just for you and because he gave your foundation money or whatever else, but for the greater whole. And there's a lot of great candidates. Again, and a lot of them, we're running because there are issues. There are so many issues. And it's less about us, but more about new leadership. So please take that into account when you go to the polls and when you have these conversations. Make sure that you're looking at the greater whole and all of the facts and all the numbers and all the information. Because I talked to a lot of mentioned supporters, and it's just like, oh yeah, he's a great guy. And it's, well, what has he done? I was like, well, you have to have a greater holistic view at this. And please, please, don't just make your decision now, because there's more than 30 days left, and there's more information to come, and there's platforms that are being developed, and you haven't taken the chance to get to know all the other candidates. I'm not saying vote for me, but like look at all the other candidates, and we need change. We're not going to stand united with Nenshi, because we're not. We're very divided right now, and you have to look at someone who's going to bring everyone together. Thank
you. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian, thank you for the opportunity to share my platform with you. I enjoyed our intelligent discussion today. I believe that every senior in our city deserves to be able to age with dignity and an age-friendly Calgary. As your new mayor, there are things I can do for you as you have heard me this afternoon talking to you. And there is one thing you can do to make your wishes come true. On October 16, a few weeks from today, we will need to have a councillor and a mayor who are committed to serve, not people seeking a cozy, comfortable career. Therefore, this is your golden opportunity to make a positive change before it's too late. So what can I do to make, what can you do to make this happen? That's the question. May I suggest to you to make a point at every forum you attend or at every opportunity you may have before the election to ask the 3 questions of your candidate. Question number 1, you ask him this: would you be committed to term limits? We need this in order to end the era of career politicians and bring in competent people devoted to serve Calgarians. The question 2 that you should ask: would you commit to sincere public engagement, respect to public feedback, and protect our democracy? The third question you should ask: would you prove that you are running to serve by accepting a pay cut, knowing that many residents are living today on fixed income and others have no income? I am here, my friends, standing before you today, leading by example, and have been committed to all of these 3 from the day I announced running for Calgary Mayor. As a senior, I spent 3 years helping my mother at the Rocky View. I realized the cost of parking and the hassle with parking. Other cities provide free parking for seniors. That is one of my goals, to help seniors to have free parking at hospitals in our city. Thank you again, and have a great time. Have a safe trip home.
Both have had a thoughtful, intelligent, and a passionate contribution by 7 dedicated candidates. Let's give them one big round of applause. Those are the 3 things I'd like to say. First of all, I'd like to just tell you a quick little story that 2 years ago, my sweetheart Jasmine and I were going to the Calgary Stampede. So we decided to park near the C train station at Westgate. And we parked on 35th Street, just north of 17th Avenue. There were no cars there at all. It was wide open. I thought, what a great place to park. I came back at the end of the Stampede, and what did we discover? A $36 parking ticket for a no parking zone, for which it was created for the Ernest Manning High School, which had been torn down 3 years earlier. So I contacted City Hall, and I was told you couldn't get a ticket fixed. And I said, I'm not interested in getting a ticket fixed. I'm interested in getting a problem fixed. So I'm very proud of the fact that decisive leadership took place, and 8 weeks later, I got a refund for $36. So let me tell you what bothered me the most. First of all, it took several months to get the sign down. Secondly, I asked the administrator who was responsible, why did we not allow our employees to question a policy? Why didn't we have our employees asking, why am I enforcing and giving out tickets for something that is absurd? And I was told, oh no, we don't want our employees having that kind of discretion. Folks, there's got to be a better way. It's called customer service. So I've written 8 books. One was called Satisfaction Guaranteed, how to satisfy every customer every time. And I'd like to make my donation to these 7 campaigns. Staff and the administrators at City Hall who quite haven't read it yet. We've been very fortunate, ladies and gentlemen, to have the contribution of fabulous volunteers. Their names include Luann Whitmarsh for pulling this group together from Kerby Center, Dennis Little, who worked on candidate liaison, Elaine Yost, our big ask person, Marilyn Wilson and Jasmine Rouse on the dollar store cards, thank you very much. Our media liaison, Keith Colbuck. Our official photographer, you'll be seeing us on our website, Henry Hines Janik, who's quite the artist besides being a photographer. Registration desk and our executive director, Dolores Pilso. Thank you also, Danny Lamb and Andrew Sargent, for helping with that. I especially want to acknowledge Terry Ross for leading our team of Bernie Fitterer and Luann Whitmarsh, choosing the questions from the dozens and dozens of questions. I thought they did a superb job. And we had 8 ushers and greeters. They include Tina Prine, Frank Wong, John Bisenport, Rob Locke, Ron Lewis, Audrey Abdullah, Sheriff McCowan, and Pauline Cowell. To all of them, would you all please join with me with great So this is debate number 23. We have many more planned. If you signed on and given us your email address or a mailing address, we'll make sure you get invited to the next one. So I want to close with a thought about who's it up to now. You should all be very proud that you have come to the first non-special interest Mayoralty debate of this election. I think there's going to be another dozen more. And of course, there'll be dozens more members of City Council and school trustees. Who's it up to now? Well, I found this wisdom from an anonymous statistician in Ottawa when I was serving on City Council. And I've kept it ever since, and I think you'll enjoy for wrapping up this presentation. He said the population of Canada is 32 million. But there are 11 million over 65 years of age, leaving 21 million to do the work and make a difference. People under 16, total 12 million, leaving 9 million people to do the work of making a difference. 4 million government employees leaves 5 million. 100,000 in the armed forces leaves 4 million. 900,000. But deduct 1.5 million provincial city employees, that leaves 3.4 million to do the work and make a difference. There are 1,400,000 people in hospitals, asylums, or sick at any one time in Canada, leaving 2 million people to make the difference. But 1.3 million are unemployed and 600,000 are on welfare or won't work. So this entire country, that leaves 100,000 people to do what it takes to make a difference. Now it may interest you to know that there are 80,000 people out of the country at any one time. And 19,850 people are in jail or won't work. So that leaves just 150 people to make a difference. And ladies and gentlemen, that is you. I honor you for being here today.